These are Antheraea species. Around 350 to 400 of them can make a beautiful Indian sari known as Tussar Silk that offers a luxurious fabric as well as a bit of rustic appeal. Produced mainly in the eastern regions of India, including Bihar, Jharkhand, Odisha, Chhattisgarh, and West Bengal, very little is known regarding the time of its origin. It is also called wild silk, and there's a specific reason for it. These silkworms are not domesticated creatures. They feed on wild trees instead of being confined to a little farm or in an overly controlled environment. The cultivation of silkworms, also known as sericulture, is done by tribal communities. Farmers collect the silkworm eggs and place them on fresh leaves. Once the larvae hatch, they feed on leaves and grow rapidly. These specific creatures are biologically recognized as Antheraea myleta, and myletas eat a lot. So much so that they have to be transferred from one tree to another so they can continue to feast. It has to be done timely so the larvae are not starved to death. They mainly feed on trees like arjun and asan, which are native to Indian forests and are found in abundance. These areas are protected by the country's government and require a permit to visit. The silkworms are prone to bird attacks. The farmers shoot stones to scare the birds away so they don't eat the larvae. This is where the good old slingshots come in, among other methods. The tribes have been cultivating these cocoons for generations, passing down the knowledge. 2 to 3 crops are harvested every year. Once the silkworms have matured and reach a certain stage in their life cycle, they start making cocoons around themselves. These cocoons are shelters for larvae to transform into a moth. The cocoons provide the right humidity and temperature and act as a protective layer against any natural attack from outside. Once the cocoons are harvested, they go into grainage. Here, the cocoons are sorted and stored. The cocoons are attached to pieces of strings and hung to the ceiling. Next, they have to be boiled, but the silkworms are still inside. For most silkworms in captivity, this is where the journey ends. But not for Tussar silkworms. Here is the interesting part. There are 2 types of Tussar silk, pure Tussar and Tussar Ghica. Now, pure Tussar is made using undamaged cocoons, which means the larvae die inside. On the other hand, Tussar Ghica is the one in which the moth makes a hole at the top of the cocoon and breaks out, and therefore is unharmed. The moth flies out and goes on to mate and produce more eggs, and more importantly, it's free. This is why Tussar silk has earned the name No Violent Silk. This is also why there has been a renewed interest in it by designers and textile enthusiasts, as it offers ethical practices in fashion and it's environmentally friendly.
देखिए जो हमारा जो ये जंगलों से जब आता है तसर, तो तसर से जो काट करके जो कीड़ा जो बाहर निकल जाता है, तो बाहर निकलने के बाद जो अंदर में उसका जो पार्ट थोड़ा बच जाता है, तो वो ऑलमोस्ट वो जीव हत्या नहीं होता है. तो मतलब ये हमारे लिए अच्छा है.
Even the trees on which the silkworms feed are not damaged or cut down. It is to be noted that most of the villagers don't have the concept of violence or non-violent silk. For them, it's a modern fancy term. They have been making Tussar Ghica silk for centuries. Once the moth flies out, then the production of silk begins. We visited Bagaya village in Jharkhand, India, where thousands of families are involved in Tussar silk production. It starts with the boiling stage. The cocoons are soaked in warm water. It's done using a mixture of soda, The boiling step is also called degumming, as it softens the sericin, a natural protein that binds the silk fibers together. This helps the silk thread to be unwoven easily. If the cocoons are not boiled optimally, it can cause problems during the later stages of the silk making.
ये जो काम है पूरा फैमिली मिलकर ही करता तभी पॉसिबल है। अगर चाहिएगा कि आप अकेले कर पाइएगा तो थोड़ा सा बहुत हार्ड हो जाता है ये काम। सब मिलकर करते थोड़ा सा आराम लगता है। ऐसे लगता है कि नॉर्मली आसान काम है, घर में बैठ के कर लेते हैं, लेकिन सब मिलकर करते हैं तब आसान है।
Next is the reeling stage, where the silk fibers are carefully taken out of the boiled cocoons. These fibers are stifled together to form a thread-like string. Reeling is only done by the female members of the family.
अगर कोई लेडीज अगर तैयार करती है तो 40 से 50 ग्राम से ज़्यादा तैयार नहीं कर पाएगी। और ऐसा होता है कि ज़्यादातर नहीं, मतलब लेडीज नहीं करना चाहती, इसलिए उसके लिए मशीन मतलब उपलब्ध कराया जाता है कहीं पर, हमारे यहाँ नहीं है अभी, लेकिन लेडीज लोग मतलब पैसा के लिए तो करना ही पड़ता है तो वो करती है।
Traditionally, workers use their bare thighs for this purpose. This technique has been replaced by putting other materials over the thigh. The reeling process requires patience and skill, as well as gentle hands to prevent breakage. The coiled up yarn is then put under the sun to be dried. It has to fully lose all the moisture to be useful for the next stages. Next comes the spinning wheel. Traditional spinning wheels are often used, preserving the artisan quality of the yarn. The spinning machine, also known as charka, pulls and twists the yarn, turning it into a stronger and more uniform cord throughout its length. This makes the thread durable with enhanced texture. The continuous twisting and the tension it creates help achieve the goal. The craftsman will stop and join the pieces whenever one piece ends or if there is a breakage. It is rolled around thin little tubes to be used later. Next is the weaving stage. The yarn is ready to be woven into fabric. The long yarn that runs vertically up and down the roll is called warp. It ensures the vertical pattern repeats regardless of fabric width. The yarn that passes horizontally across the fabric roll is called weft. It manages the horizontal pattern. The weaving requires skilled craftsmen who often use traditional handlooms. Together, the horizontal and vertical yarn helps weave the fabric to completion. The loom business is in decline, and fewer people are trying to learn it.
ये तो स्टार्टिंग से ही हमारे पापा दादा लोग सब करते आ रहे थे, तो हम लोग भी इसी में इन्वॉल्व हो गए, क्योंकि हम लोग के पास और कोई ऑप्शन है नहीं। और ये हैंडलूम तो एक समझिए कि धरोहर है हमारा, तो इस चीज़ को विलुप्त ना हो जाए, तो हम लोग चाहते हैं कि इसको बढ़ावा दिया जाए। और जैसे कि जनरेशन के साथ में अगर हम लोग चेंज नहीं होंगे तो फिर ये पूर्ण रूप से ख़त्म होने के कगार पे है।
Handling handlooms isn't an easy job, as it requires physical efforts and tons of focus.
हैंडलूम है सर, थोड़ा सा पूरा शरीर, आप अगर वेविंग कर रहे हैं तो आपको कहीं भी ध्यान देना नहीं है। अगर कहीं आप दूसरा जगह देखें तो आपको प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगा, फिर जो तसर वो कट सकता है। अगर कहीं फंसा रहा है तो पूरा कपड़ा ख़राब हो जाएगा इसीलिए मतलब पैर से लेकर दिमाग तक आपको वहीं पर रखना है। इसीलिए थोड़ा सा थक जाते हैं, हम ज़्यादा थक जाते हैं, इसलिए हम ज़्यादा नहीं कर पाते हैं।
There are mechanized looms available, but handmade looms are preferred as they offer a different quality and feel to the fabric. Next is the decoration stage. While Tussar Ghica can be cut into different clothing, saris are the popular option. The silk has the natural tendency to absorb colors. A few pieces are dyed using natural or synthetic colors depending on the requirements. But mainly, these saris are hand-painted. It is done using Madhubani art. This type of sari has the most demand in the market. The hand-designed embroidery demands creativity. The designs may look simple, but they need creative hands. These designs are usually inspired by nature, including birds, leaves, flowers, and so on, and are made using natural dyes. Tussar silk has a slightly coarser fabric. You can feel the roughness and its grainy texture by just touching it. It reflects a natural golden sheen and offers earthy tones. It's not overly shiny like its popular counterpart mulberry silk. It is also breathable, making it usable for both the summer as well as the humid season. With temperature regulating capability, it will keep you warm in winter and cool in the summer, making it a year-round wear. Along with other varieties of silk, including mulberry, Erie, and Muga, Tussar silk is helping to fulfill India's silk demand. The Silk Institute is under the central government authority that is keen on providing seeds and other facilities, as well as training new people to keep the industry thriving. Tussar silk has been a source of employment for rural and tribal communities. There are almost 350,000 people associated with its cultivation and production. Tussar silk is a story of tradition and craftsmanship. It offers eco-friendly and ethical practices in fashion and textiles. It's a story of skilled hands and a rich Indian culture. We hope that you enjoyed the story. We'll reply to everyone in the comments section below. Please like, subscribe, and share the documentary.